All right, welcome to your first dual credit video tutorial. All right, today we're going to be doing lines in a plane. It's section 1.2. Lines in a plane, in case you can't read my writing. All right, this should be somewhat of a review from Algebra 1, Geometry, and Algebra 2 as well. So I anticipate this will go pretty quick. Okay. I strongly encourage you to, listen to what you're hearing, or write down everything, and if need be, just pause the video. Okay, let's refresh ourselves on a little bit of vocabulary here and notation. Okay, let's say I have an equation of a line, and it's in the format x equals some numeric value. 7, 3, -6. Okay, well, I don't know what that value is. We're just going to call it random a. So x equals a. Well, what does this graph as? As a review, if this is an equation of a line, and all you know is that x is equal to some number, y can be anything, but x is always held constant, this is going to graph as a vertical line. You can pick any value for a, create a t-chart, t-table, plot all the points or ordered pairs in that t-table, and when every x is the same thing, no matter what y is, you're going to connect it, and you're going to connect those points, and you're going to have a vertical line. All right, likewise, what happens if you have the equation of a line and it is y equals just some number, like y equals 2, or y equals 3, or y equals -6? Well, x can be anything, but the y's are always held constant. We don't know what that is, so we're just going to call it b. You could create a t-chart, change all the x's, but always keep y the same value. And when you do that and you plot all those ordered pairs, it's going to produce a horizontal line. These are kind of two special cases of linear functions. You either have a vertical or a horizontal line. There's no slant, okay, to the graph. All right, to write the equation of a line, there are two forms that we're going to look at. To write the equation of a line, two forms. It's either that we're going to use the formula y equals mx plus b. You may remember this is the slope-intercept form. The slope-intercept form of a line. Okay, why do they call it that? Well, honestly, it's just because the slope is visible and the y-intercept is visible in this equation. Okay, reminding you that the slope is represented by the value of m. And this graph has a y-intercept. It cuts through the y-axis at the value of b. So it's slope-intercept form. It's visible to us. That's slope, that's intercept. Why not call it the slope-intercept form? Sometimes I'm going to be writing the equation of a line not using the slope-intercept form, but this form right here. So I can use this equation to write the equation of a line. You probably didn't use this a lot, and maybe not much, if any, in Algebra 1. You may have seen it just slightly in Algebra 2. All right, if we use this form, this is called the point slope form. Point slope form. All right, well, just like over here, why would we call it the point slope form? Because, well, the slope is visible. We know that in this format that this value would be the slope. Well, the point is x sub 1, y sub 1. And our work with this in a little bit will help us become more familiar with this form. All right, what other formula that I didn't spell out for us up here, but we will be using it. Okay, we're going to revisit that formula in this question. All right, here's the objective. Find the slope of the line passing through seems to be delayed. And I'm going to give you 2 points, 2 ordered pairs, 2 sets of ordered pairs. All right, I haven't given you this formula yet, but let's see if you can remember how to find the slope of a line passing through 2 points. All right. The formula that we're going to use is m equals the difference of the y coordinates of the 2 points divided by the difference of the 2 x coordinates of the points. A good strategy, in my opinion, is to keep everything straight, is to maybe label the ordered pairs. If this is your point 1, where we're going to call this x coordinate x sub 1 and this y coordinate of point 1 y sub 1. So likewise, this would be x sub 2 and y sub 2. Okay, so in this course, you know, work is important, so you want to show all your work nice, neat, and organized. I know it doesn't come across as such as far as organization on the video, but I know on your own paper you guys can follow through with neatness. Okay, now that we've identified the coordinates, 0 minus negative 10, we might as well go ahead and make that 0 plus 10, and then negative 4 minus 0. So we're going to have 10 over negative 4, but that will simplify to negative 5 halves. All right, so just a quick review of finding slope given 2 points. All right, next objective. Let's find the equation of a line given information. Yeah, there we go. Too many dots. Find the equation of a line given the following information. Okay, now remember, I just shared with you 2 different forms of writing the equation of a line previous. And it just depends. I mean, it depends on what you're given and as to what form you want to use. Sometimes one form would be easier than the other. Who cares if you don't start out using the easier form? Doesn't matter. So what? All right, here's our first example, so I'll just call it example 1. All right, you might be given an ordered pair, a point that belongs on a line, and you might also be told the slope. All right, so let's find the equation or write the equation, whatever, of a line given the following. I might suggest at this point too that, you know what, you can always draw a picture too to aid you, help you in your understanding. I don't think it's necessary here because you know what? I'm not going to use slope intercept. I'm going to go right to point slope. And if you look back up in your notes a little bit ahead, I don't want to take time to scroll back because it takes a little while. I'm going to use the point slope form of the equation because it is so much easier. Point slope. We've got a point and we've got slope. Dump everything in the formula. Well, first of all, let me identify with labels what I want to call these coordinates right here. You gotta be patient. I don't know, my pen's going really slow. So we're going to call this x sub 1, and this is going to be y sub 1. And obviously this doesn't need a label because it has one. It's m. Okay, I don't want to use slope-intercept. It's too difficult. We're going to use point-slope. Okay, once I figure out what I'm going to use, I'm going to go ahead and write the formula down in front of me and just use it as a guideline. I don't know why the delay is happening. Okay. Well, I want to keep y the way it is. I want to keep x the way it is because in an equation, we're going to write, we have to have some variables. So y and x are going to be variables. So let me go ahead and insert. So I've got y minus -3 or y plus 3. My slope was -1/2 times quantity. That's the parenthesis, x, and then x sub 1 is 2. Personally, for me, really the only thing left to do is subtract a 3 from both sides. Okay, I don't feel that it's necessary to distribute the -1/2. In your upper level math classes, that's really not an objective to be able to do that algebra, although, I mean, it's good practice. Actually, I like to leave the answer just like this because what you can do is you can identify, oh my goodness, please do a better job of boxing than what you're seeing here. I can identify that in the transformational form of the equation of a line, I can identify that 2, positive 2, negative 3 is a point on a line. Look like up here, positive 2, negative 3. You've done transformations before. You can identify 2, 3 as a point on the line and identify that the slope is -1/2. All right, example 2. Okay, this is kind of a special case where I'm not going to have to worry about the slope-intercept form or the point-slope, and here's why. Okay, in this example, okay, I mean, you could plot the point 6, -1. Look what the slope is. It's undefined. I mean, if I did a real quick visual of 6, -1, well, here's 6, and here's -1. Labeling's not a big deal, but here's 6, -1. If the slope is undefined, we know that we're going to have to draw a vertical line. Okay? You can use slope-intercept or point-slope, but why bother? This is a special case. What's the equation of that line? Well, any vertical line has the equation x equals, I need a value for x. Well, look at the point. The x coordinate of the ordered pair is 6. You're done. Finished. Think about what your equation would look like if it tells you m is 0. If the slope is 0, it would be a horizontal line. And a horizontal line is always of the form y equals. Well, it'd have to be y equals -1 if the slope was 0. All right, so at this point, I've covered about half of the content of this section. So I'm going to stop this video, and then in the next video, I'm going to cover a couple more questions that you're going to see on your assignment. So I'll just join you back in the next video.